Winners are made in the winter.
Winners are made in the winter. And if you don't have winter, it's in the off season. Now, what are winners doing in the winter? That's the question. What they're doing is ramping down their endurance training. If you're a runner, cyclist, triathlete, trail runner, you need to bring your volume and intensity down in running. And what are they doing? They're spending more time in the weight room strength training. Here's why. After a long season, we'll take the marathon for example, there's great research to show that after a marathon, it takes about 1 full month for your body to fully regulate and come back to balance. We call this homeostasis. Right? So 1 full month for your hormones specifically to really fully regulate. That's one marathon, not a whole season. So your hormones after an entire season, they've been upregulated. You've been stressed out, so your nervous system's also in play here. What we need to allow our body to do is absorb the stress from that season, come down from it, and come back stronger. So, point number 2 here, muscles, tendons, and bones. After a season of repetitive strain on your muscles, tendons, and bones, we have become broken down. The nature of endurance sport is we break down over time. It is catabolic. So what do we need to do then? We need to rebuild. How do we do that? Strength training. So strength training by nature is anabolic. It builds us back up, building muscle. Now, don't freak out. We're not going to get bulky. That's not in our nature. Putting on a little bit of muscle, it's okay. In fact, it's great. Elise Cranny, who's a 2-time Olympian athlete of ours, is a huge advocate that strong is fast. So muscles, tendons, and bones. We need to let that recover. Over the course of the season, you have niggles, you have strains, your tendons lose some stiffness, your bones might lose a little density. We need to rebuild that. Okay, so what does that mean and how do we do it? First of all, strength training has been really popularized, but for a lot of us, how do we actually do it for it to support our training and racing? Whether you're a runner, a trail runner, marathoner, etc., triathlete, how do we make sure it supports us, not takes away from us? So, it's not bodybuilding, number 1. It's also not specifically CrossFit or high-intensity interval training. How should you feel? The exercises should be selected to support your joints in a full range of motion. This could be called mobility. This could be called functional range conditioning. This could be called many, many things. It's just making sure you are moving through full ranges of motion again. Distance running is not a full range of motion. Restoring your joints to full range and capacity. So we're talking about movement quality here, right? 2, you do need to add some load, which is some weight. Now, you shouldn't add so much weight that you wake up every day and you're so sore you can't go to the bathroom, right? We want to do enough to get some kind of a response to build our muscles back up. If you're too sore, you can't be consistent, right? And you're further breaking yourself down. A little soreness is okay and normal. Now, how should you feel during that session? We hear this a lot. The session wasn't hard enough. I didn't feel like I was exhausted. Great, you should not feel like you're exhausted after every lift. You are not a strength athlete, you're not a power lifter. Even power lifters, the really good ones, are not exhausting themselves. Enough to create the right physiological change, which means your body has absorbed enough of a stress, which in this case is weight, to allow you to adapt to it. This is going to set you up for success because guess what? Tomorrow, you can still go for that easy run, which is going to make you really happy anyway. What's going to suck is if you go for that run and you're hobbling around because you're too sore. So more is not more. The right amount is more. So how much weight should we use? An appropriate amount. Starting in a 6 to 8 rep range is a great place to start. Building up to 10 is still important. We do want to take that time in the off season, in the winter, to build back up with a base of strength. So how long does this take? We're talking 8 to 12 weeks. Most research is going to quote an 8-week protocol. That is a good starting point. However, it does take approximately 12 weeks for physiological adaptations to manifest. What I mean by that is for your tendons and your muscles to actually retain the strength. Think about your run training or your cycling training. You did an 8-week block, you got a little fitter, and then you kind of weaned off. You lose that fitness. Now, if you did a whole year of intensive running or cycling or swimming, the next year when you come back, you retain a lot more. Why would it be any different in the weight room? So 12 weeks is your bare minimum to build up that strength in a way that isn't making you too sore, making you too fatigued, and in a way that's making you feel good. Now, winners are made in the winter. Do the winners just stop after the winter and go back to not strength training? Probably not. So what we want to be doing is maintaining what we've done throughout the rest of the year. Now, the way you lift, the way you do strength training will change. You don't want to put so much emphasis on volume, which is high sets and reps. So I'm probably not going to do 3 or 4 sets of 15 reps of a loaded exercise later on as my training ramps back up. That'll come down a little bit. And then as we move into a more of a championship or racing season, we probably want to move into a maintenance phase, right? And then as we reach that A race, that big marathon, we're going to taper. And you taper maybe multiple times throughout the year. So at the end of the season, your body's going to break down a little bit. Our goal is to build you back up and maintain as much as we can throughout the season so we don't taper all the way back down. When you reach a point where you've broken down too much, we see multiple things happen here. 1, injury. 2, burnout. 3, overtraining or energy deficiency. So that brings us to our final point with energy deficiency. As you're doing this, you're still an athlete and you're still training. You need to be focusing on getting enough good calories into your body. I recommend working with someone who's a registered dietitian who works with athletes to really talk about how can I work with what I'm doing now and support my athletics. And then throughout the rest of the season, at the end of the day, if you put no gas in the tank, your car doesn't drive. So it doesn't matter if you're running, lifting, or training in any other capacity, put the right fuel in, it'll support you, and then you can build yourself back up. So, question is, what are you going to do this winter? Hopefully it's strength training.